Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cardinal Territory. I say it all the time, the smartest panel in the baseball podcast universe. Easy for me to say. Jim Hayes, alongside Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and Matt Holliday, who's on the road again. Can't wait to get on. Matt, you are en route from Tulsa to home. Is that correct?
That is correct. We made a trip over to Tulsa this morning. The boys did some running with a running coach, and so you get to look at me in a car. I like this. I like to be in the car. It's kind of my shtick is to do the podcast from the car. Super professional.
It's
Whose
good.
car are we in today?
This is my car, but I got a chauffeur.
Whoops.
Hello.
There he is. He's back.
Driving again.
He's like, I don't want to be any part of this. I don't want to be any part of this. Lance Lynn, how are you doing today?
Always great, Jim.
Great to see you. Kyle
The
Gibson.
healthiest option is at Starbucks, then.
Big egg bites. A cold brew.
Definitely not the healthiest option, that's for sure. I'm doing good, Jim. Good to see you.
So where are we going to eat now, Matt? What's going on?
Boys are picking up some Starbucks.
You want it?
Okay.
All right. I remember
Probably
when
probably some egg bites. I don't know what they're getting, but yeah, they needed a post-run snack.
All right, fair enough. So we've talked about pretty much every.
Oh my gosh, a jalapeno. 2 orders of the bacon egg bites.
I can mute myself. I mean, that may be the best thing to do here.
2
No,
cold brews.
No,
I want to hear the order.
Venti.
Venti cold brew. You want the black cold brew?
Yes. Can you sweeten it with honey, please?
Just a touch.
Smidge.
All right. You want the honey blend syrup or the honey packets?
Honey pack.
Just the natural honey packets.
How many packets do you want in that?
Maybe like 2 each.
Riveting content.
Listen, we have
What?
future
Oh, I think more
superstars
than that.
placing an order. What other podcast has that?
1 egg bites a piece?
Thank you.
Okay.
Couple egg
We don't
bites,
need all
couple
that.
egg
All right. Why don't you,
Burgers.
Matt? Why
I'm
don't you
starving.
mute for a second?
There's 2 burgers.
I'll wave you back in.
Hold on, we got an
Uh,
argument coming.
You can have both, but I'm not.
We got an argument coming.
Cold brew,
Keep us on.
couple honey packets. Here we go.
I need to chill on my way.
Fellas, we've talked about pretty much every single player on the Cardinal roster, right? And we've done it as another podcast, as Cardinal Territory. I want to talk about a guy that I don't think we've touched on enough, and that would be Victor Scott II. This is a young guy who, in one season in the minors, stole 94 bases, didn't hit a lot last year, but we saw as the season progressed, his defense and his confidence in terms of getting good jumps on the ball really take off, and he became a defensive weapon. So I'm going to start with Lance Lynn. You know Victor Scott II. You know what he brings to the table. Just your thoughts on what he might be in terms of the future in the Cardinals organization.
I mean, you're looking at just the glove itself. If you want to start there, right? How well he can play center field. He's Gold Glove caliber. So the main thing is going to be like, how can we get him on base, and how can we get him to, be able to use the speed on the base. So the big thing I think is, you get him to control the strike zone. Put the ball on the ground. Try to hit extra base hits and stuff like that, and try to stay away from the ball in the air. So he's got all the tools for all that, and he just needs to play. I liken it to the worst case. He's Billy Hamilton. Worst case scenario, that's Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton had a good career, but I think that there's more ceiling than that. It's just he's got to play, and he's got to get used to, what it takes day in and day out to be prepared. He's got to put the ball in play, not strike out, control the strike zone, and see if he can get his walks and things of like that. And then next thing there's a lot of things that he can do well and cause havoc on the field. And there's the sky's the limit for that kid because he wants to be great. So just giving him the opportunity, giving the right people around him to make that happen.
And Kyle, I know you follow the Cardinals closely. Did you guys see the improvement that I think a lot of people saw? Kyle, did you see Victor Scott II take it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I think his defense is something that is game changing. You know, when when you can steal extra base hits at the clip that he does, it's a big deal. Not only for a pitching staff, or just as the inning progresses, right? Um, and yeah, I mean, I think offensively, I don't know all of where he ended up offensively, but I mean, I think there's always room to grow for guys, especially as they're young in their career. And I mean, I think as you dig into certain things, I'm trying to look at it right now. You know, as you dig into certain things, like Lance said, like strikeouts and walks, you know, if you can flip some of those, I think that's a big deal because a walk becomes a double, a single becomes a double in a lot of instances. He swiped 34 bags, which is a lot. He walked 42 times to 111. So, you know, I think Vic is a guy that um, I've mentioned it earlier a few months ago. Is he was really asking me in 2024, you know, how does Cedric Mullins become a really good leadoff hitter and what makes him really good? That type of question is very indicative of a player that wants to get better, wants to be the best version of himself, and is looking at the right players to model his game after. So, you know, I think Vic has a lot of ceiling ahead of him as he keeps working and, like Lance said, figuring out the strike zone.
Matt, I think it's important for a player to realize that's my dog Stella. I think it's important for a player to recognize what his strengths, what his weaknesses are, right? And with a guy like Victor Scott II, you got to eliminate the strikeouts. And as Lance put so well, you don't want the ball in the air. He recognizes that, and I think we saw him make some of those adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I think obviously we know he plays really good defense. I think I think as he gets into the 25, 26, 27 age season, I think it's just a matter of how well his offensive game can develop. And um, it depends on whether he'll be an everyday player or more of a platoon defensive replacement type of player. I mean, I think when you have that kind of speed, he's going to have a role on a team for a long time. But I think the next couple years will tell us whether or not whether he can be counted on to be, be a everyday center fielder in the major leagues. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he can develop offensively and what the next, even this year. I think how he learns, how he grows as a hitter. Um, like you guys talked about, getting on base a little bit more, striking out a little bit less. Does he have a plan on how to make adjustments? What kind of adjustments is he getting from the organization? And then just the maturation of accumulating big league at bats. Will that be helpful in making him more of a an everyday solid major league offensive player? Because like you said, the defense and the base running is plus, and so it has a role. It just have to see how well his offensive game continues to develop.
And we've seen signs that it's starting to get there. I wish he'd work on bunting too. That's such a valuable tool to have in the old toolbox. I wanted to also ask you guys about the Cardinal bullpen. You know, once Helsley was traded away, the young guys stepped up, and the bullpen was really, really good. And some guys really took the opportunity and ran with it. So, I mean, you got Swanson out there. JoJo is a veteran who also pitched very, very well. You have O'Brien. So, Lance, I'm going to ask you, do you think that one of those guys will be closing games for the Cardinals in the upcoming season? Will it be someone else, or will it be possibly shared responsibilities and mix and match? How do you see it?
I would, to be honest with you, if you're looking at the market and the I say in the back end market, you probably want to go get someone that you can say kind of slot in there and be like, hey, he's our guy. That's why I'm all for say Helsley coming back. If he's good for 1 year or whatever it may be, just because it gives you a proven back end. And then if you have those guys in your 7, 8, roles where you can mix and match them throughout the year, and then also where they can jump in closer spots when their area of the lineup comes up that best suit them. But if you don't get a Helsley type of guy, you have multiple guys that you can throw in their quote unquote blocks of the lineup that you're facing that day. So I don't know if there's going to have to be a set closer role. I think there's going to be a, hey, 7, 8, 9. Here's our blocks of when you can go in, and here's our kind of our plan. And there's no closer role. It's best suited for your skill set to get the quality 3 outs would be my guess, unless they get a bona fide back end saves guy like Helsley.
What would you like to see, Kyle Gibson, and how do you think it will shake out?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. JoJo and Riley both had great years. I just kind of pulling it up here because I don't know all the ins and outs, but interesting thing about Riley is just a little bit of reverse splits on batting average against lefties. He's got the high ground ball and he gets a strikeout per 9, but I think we all can probably agree that the 9th inning is a different animal. There's just a lot more pressure on the line. You're going to be in there in a close game where one swing can change the game. So I mean, I think obviously JoJo probably has that experience and that pedigree at the back end to probably be the guy that starts. Both of those guys have incredible stuff, by the way. I don't think this is a stuff question. This is like, who is maybe best suited right now if they don't go get a guy. Maybe JoJo, just because of the time that he's been down there. But I think Riley's definitely a guy that is, surprised some people last year and looks like he has that back end ability.
A lot of guys with stuff out there. I like Swanson based on the fact that ever since the Cardinals got him, he was a leverage guy. He was closing out games, and he was nasty last year. Matt Holliday, who do you think is going to end up being the Cardinal closer?
I mean, I would guess if I had to say right now, it'll probably be a combination of who they have. Probably situationally, I don't see them going out and signing somebody that you would bring in and say, here's our guy. I don't know how many are out there. I haven't looked at the free agent market for closers, but I doubt they're bringing Helsley back. Obviously, Diaz is probably not coming in. So I would guess that it's probably by committee until somebody on the current staff sort of takes over that role and becomes maybe is stands out in spring training. And then maybe in the, you give a guy a go the first week or 2 of the season. If he does well, he keeps it. If it's a little up and down, maybe you play matchups. And if you have, like you have JoJo, you have a lefty. So maybe if they have left-hand hitters coming up in the 9th, it's him. And then you mentioned some other right-handed guys. So I would suspect that it's probably somebody on the staff this year and probably a group effort.
Yeah, could be mix and match. Now, the name Ryan Helsley came up a few times. There's news as to how he may handle his future. We will get to that when we come back with more of Cardinal Territory. Hey, Missouri, big news. It's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st, which is right around the corner. That's right. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win, a safe and secure app that's easy to use, and promos that keep you in the action all season long. No wonder it's America's top-rated sportsbook app.
The countdown is on. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 and a bonus bet on launch day.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. New Missouri customers sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code FOUL, F-O-U-L. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
One other note that I wanted to pass along because it is a holiday season. People are scrambling for those gifts, lining them up for family and friends. If you got a Cardinal friend or a Cardinal family member, and you're looking for something that'll be just perfect for them, we are here for you. Check out CardinalTerritoryShop.com. We have awesome Cardinal Territory merch We're talking the caps, the hoodies, quarter zips, ton of great stuff. Gift cards are available as well as special Black Friday pricing. Keep an eye out for that. Use promo code Black Friday at checkout. It's Black Friday as the promo code. It's CardinalTerritoryShop.com.
Do I really read that fast? It sounded like they sped my voice up like the guy at the end. All right. I guess I need to work on that because I sounded like the guy that was reading the Gamblers Anonymous number. That's not
Well,
good.
I thought
There's-
that was you, the Gamblers Anonymous.
There is, Stella, please. There is a ton of baseball knowledge on the panel. I don't have any of it, but I am a broadcaster, so mine was delivered perfectly with no need to edit. We mentioned Ryan Helsley, and the news came out. I don't take it that seriously. I'm going to go back in the same order, though. Lance, that maybe Ryan Helsley could consider becoming a starter. He was earlier in his career. Certainly, he has a number of pitches that would play as a starter. But when I read that, I thought to myself, gee, this is a guy who set the Cardinal franchise record for saves, who was good as a closer last year. He's going to be in demand. He's going to get the bag, as Kyle Gibson likes to say. As a closer, the thing messed up in New York when the Mets said, "Oh no, you're going to be a setup guy." It didn't work out that way. But this guy is still one of the elite closers in the league. Isn't that his lane?
Yeah, I think so. I think this might be more of a play to use the market to maybe get some more dollars as a closer. This time of year, or in free agency, there's going to be things that pop up that are making you look more valuable, and it depends on who's talking what here and this and that. So hell, last year there was rumor that I could go back to closing, and that was never going to happen. So that's just part of free agency at this time. Now, could he do it? I think there's a possibility that he's capable of. I see him as a back end guy, as a closer. I think the way that he kind of performs in his innings and stuff like that, it doesn't match to be able to throw 6 innings as a starter. But that's, especially with what he's able to do in the closer role and what he did for the Cardinals in 24 for us. So I think this could be just a little gamesmanship to get the market moving and maybe a little bit more dollars to be a closer.
All right, that was my bad spreading the false rumor about you coming back as a closer. I apologize, but I'm probably going to plant that.
There was a conversation. Yeah.
So it is based in reality.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you think you could close? And the answer was yes. And then everyone's like, hey, he might be a closer this year. So that was it. But I can always
All
get
right.
you 3 outs. Holly knows that. So is Kyle. If you tell me I need to get you 3 outs, I can get you 3 outs right now.
Holliday, is that true? Can he get 3 outs right now? I mean, right now?
I mean, depends on who they're out against.
Exactly.
I mean, he could get the three. He could get the 3 of us out right now.
They're gettable. I can get you 3 out.
Am I wrong to think, Kyle Gibson, though, if you've established yourself at the very top of the closer's mountain, that you're suddenly going to try to reinvent yourself as a starter? Doesn't that seem like that would be counterproductive?
Well, I mean, I do think it's important to remember he's done it before, right? So it's not like it's totally foreign, but I don't know. I mean, it sounds a little bit more like the Jeff Hoffman situation, I think it was last year, where he said he was going to possibly do both, and then he didn't. But I don't know. I kind of think that Helsley is the bullpen guy, and I think he's probably going to stay as that. I mean, Jordan Hicks did it going to San Fran. I think it worked for a little bit, and then I
Didn't
think
work.
he kind of hit a wall both years.
Didn't work. All right, I'm gonna change up the order here with a final. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. I like Hicks. His stuff was phenomenal. I thought if they could just harness that for a closer setup guy, that would have been the best move. I don't think it worked out, but he's a talented young man, no question.
If you are still carrying a clunky leather brick that can be mistaken for an old school wallet, may I introduce you to what Eric Kratz is getting himself for the holidays?
I mean, this is the greatest wallet that I've ever seen in my life. Your credit cards fit in here. It's adjustable, lifetime guaranteed. Like like this is a must-have for the holidays. Absolute must-have.
Ridge Olive Matte. That is the design that Kratz has right now, and you can get a hold of that. There's over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from over at Ridge. You can even get a wallet that features every NFL, MLB, or college team. And for a limited time, Ridge is having their huge Black Friday sale. Head to ridge.com/foul to get up to 47% off your order. This is by far the biggest discount they've given all year. That's ridge.com/foul for up to 47% off your order during their biggest sale of the year. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about Ridge. Tell them Foul Territory sent you.
All right, so the last thing, I'm going to start with you, Holliday. You look very comfortable riding passenger in the SUV. Your boys are fed. You look relaxed. So the last question is, give me one guy that you think the Cardinals should pick up. Now, here are the qualifiers. It has to be based on need. It has to be based in reality, meaning someone that you think the Cardinals could get and isn't one of the extraordinarily high-priced guys that they probably will take a pass on. Who you got?
Are we Black Friday shopping? Timeout.
Yes. No. Well, if you come up with a deal, a deal is always a deal. And you can also go to Cardinal Territory shop.com. They're great deals there. Matt, go there, pick up a couple hoodies. I'm sure we'll send you some on the on the free, as they say.
I mean, how much money do I mean, I look, a guy like Michael King, I don't know what his market's going to be. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be probably out of the Cardinals price range, but a guy like Michael King I like his stuff a lot, and I think he's coming off of a somewhat injury plagued season, so you might be able to get him for less years. But I think he's a good young starting pitcher with ace type stuff that I would be interested in, and but again, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in him because of his stuff. But he's a guy in the free agency that I like a lot. That again, I don't know that the Cardinals will be in on him, but that I'll go with him.
That's a good selection. And look, we don't know any of these things are possibilities. Kyle, give me a name, a guy you think is a
Lance,
fit.
you're not going to yell at him? Lance yelled at me when I brought up $100 million player.
Yeah, I think he's a $100 million guy and is a qualifying
You
offer.
yelled
So
at
I
me
think
2 weeks ago.
that's a no go. I think in the Heim offseason plan. That's my guess.
But you yelled,
I didn't know.
at
You
me
think
last time.
you think he's getting $100
Matt's
million?
older than you, and I don't yell at Matt. I'll yell at you all day long, Kyle.
I didn't know. You guys think he's getting $100 million?
All I know is he got the qualifying offer. So I think that's a hard pass in Heim's mind right now.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, yeah, that's probably true.
He looks hurt.
I
you
agree
hurt
with
his
that.
feelings,
I
Lance.
didn't.
I
didn't think about the qualifying
for
offer.
him, Kyle. To be honest with you, King,
Yeah.
I like 3 for 75. I don't think it's 100. And we've talked about Gallen, right? I think Gallen's going to be a good pitcher too, but I don't see him. I don't see him because he's got the qualifying offer too, and then he's going to be in that same ballpark. But I think he gets a 4th year because he's had more track record. All
But
right,
it could
Kyle,
be
you're
in a
up.
trade too. It could be trade. Maybe they signed. I don't know. But I'm talking trade possibilities.
All right, Kyle's up.
Kyle, don't mess up because Lance will scold you.
Lance, the last thing I saw was you said 375 and you leaned in like you were going to hit me, like I said something offensive.
No,
That's
I
the
would
last
never.
thing I heard.
Never
But
struck a fin.
yeah, I don't, man, who's the guy? I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I think there's a couple trades out there to be had that might be really interesting. I think a trade for maybe like a Nick Castellanos could be an interesting one for the Cardinals. You get a right-handed outfield DH bat that I think could be interesting. Knowing Nick how he is in the clubhouse as a veteran, I think could be good. Really, really want to win type personality, and I know that maybe that's not the year that the Cardinals could find themselves in, but I think it could be an interesting move.
Now he's a
Do you swap-
villain.
Do you
He's a
swap
villain
Arenado
inside.
for him? Because they're going to need a third baseman, right? In Philly.
I mean, I think it could be interesting. Yeah, that could be an interesting trade. I don't know.
Now, Castellanos is a villain in St. Louis, but it's happened before with AJ Pierzynski, who wasn't well thought of, came here and became beloved. That could happen with Castellanos too. And that's a
Did
guy,
he,
I agree. He's a presence.
Did AJ become left?
He did. All right, by the media. By the media. He didn't play enough in St. Louis to become loved, but the media loved him. He's a good dude. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Cardinal Territory. We will see you next time. It's holiday week. We got another one coming up, and hopefully that episode won't suck.